This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening,
Good
good
evening.
evening.
Good evening.
Sorry, a tad late. We were just dealing with some technical difficulties. Um, we are joined today for a special session Board of RHA Commissioners meeting. I'm going to in a minute turn it over to our chair to call the meeting to order. Then we will turn it over to council. Council will have a couple administrative, or one administrative matter to take care of it as relates to public comment. So I turn it over now to our chair to welcome everyone officially and to call the meeting to order.
Good evening, everyone. As CEO Naismith has said, this is the special all virtual Board of Commissioners meeting. Hope you're doing well. To my fellow commissioners and colleagues, it's good to be back, and hopefully we're ready to tackle some meaningful business tonight. That being the case, I call this meeting to order. It is now official and open, and I would like to turn this over to uh, Patrick, our counsel, so that we can handle those in-house issues that we have on deck.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Chair Jackson and fellow Board of Commissioners. I guess I'm going to turn it over to Council Carter first, just to establish a quorum, and then we can move to
Yes.
the next slide.
Okay. All right. Well, Mr. Chair, we do have a quorum today. The commissioners in attendance, we're working with Commissioner Johnson now to bring him on to the meeting. But right now we have 7 commissioners. That's you, Mr. Chair, Mr. Parker, Mr. Elliott, Mr. Hardiman, Mr. Lewis, Ms. McCray, and Ms. Pitchford. All right. So we do have a quorum. There is one change we'd like to make to the agenda before we get started. We'd like to amend it. We'd like to insert a public comment period. The time frame for each individual that will be making comments today will be 3 minutes, and we will be timing that. But I'd like to open up the floor for a motion to amend the agenda to include the public comment period between agenda item 2 and 3. So in essence, public comment period would be agenda 2A. So can I get a motion to amend the agenda, please?
I make a motion that we include the comment period and
Second.
insert. Oh, okay.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, that's fine. If the
Okay,
council thinks that's okay, I'm finished.
okay, Mr. Elliott has seconded the motion to amend the agenda. By roll call, we'll seek approval. Mr. Jackson,
Aye.
Mr. Parker, Mr. Parker,
On mute.
Mr. Parker.
You're on mute, sir.
Actually, you're not on mute. Is he on mute? Oh, okay. Please come off mute. Mr. Parker? Mr.
We'll come back.
Okay, we'll come back to you. Mr. Elliott?
Aye.
Okay, Mr. Hardiman?
Aye.
Mr. Lewis?
Aye.
Ms. McCray?
Aye.
Ms. Pitchford?
Aye.
All right, let's go back to Mr. Parker. Mr. Parker, are you
He said aye.
okay? Okay. All right, he noted by thumbs up as aye. Okay, all right. All right, well, the agenda has been amended to include the public comment period.
We have one other item to amend, sir.
There is another item to amend? Okay.
To switch the order of the items in the, that this item goes first and that this item goes second.
All right.
We'll switch it over.
Okay. I do apologize. Been brought to my attention that we are going to make another change to the agenda. All right, we'd like to switch the order of agenda item 4 to in essence be agenda item 3, and then agenda item 3 to be agenda item 4. All right, so I'd like a motion to approve the amendment of changing agenda item number 3 to 4 and 4 to 3. Can I get a motion for approval?
So be it.
Okay. Who is that from? Jackson. All right. Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay. Thank you. All right. And it was seconded by Ms. McCray. All right. We'll take a roll call vote. Mr. Jackson.
Aye.
Okay. Mr. Parker. Can we get a thing? Okay. We got a finger symbol from you. Mr. Elliott.
Aye.
Mr. Hardeman.
Aye.
Aye.
Ms. McCray.
Aye.
All right. Ms. Pittsford.
Aye.
All right. The ayes have it.
And Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Johnson's on now.
That's him right there.
Okay, Mr. Johnson.
He may have been.
Okay,
He'll come
well,
back.
we right now we can move forward because we do have the quorum, but Mr. Johnson, are you available?
Not yet.
Okay. All right. Well, the agenda item is approved, and we can move the meeting forward. Mr. Chair, now the order of the agenda now is one, which is call to order. Number 2, establish quorum. Number 2A is public comment. Number 3 is discussion regarding Mayor Vula's outstanding follow-up letter and approval of the joint governance concept. Number 4 is important updates on the Gilpin First Build site. And then number 5 are the resolution 6 closed session and adjourning the meeting number 7. Yeah. Mr. Chair, we're
Yes,
ready.
sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for the updates. And so as we continue to move along with our updated agenda, we are on now item 2A, which is public comments. I would like to remind everyone who has signed up for comments this evening that we are to be respectful of our guest and everyone on the line, and there's a 3-minute time period. We welcome your expression at this time. Who do we have signed up?
Good afternoon. The first citizen is Madeline McElgun.
Hello, Miss Madeline. Are you there? Again, Miss Madeline, are you on the line and prepared to make your comments? All right, one last time, Madeline, are you there? We'd like to give you the opportunity to speak as you've signed up for public comments this evening. All right, who do we have next, Miss Priscilla?
The next citizen is Omari Al-Qaddafi.
Good evening, Omari. This is your opportunity. Good evening.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is Omari Al-Qaddafi. I'm a senior housing organizer. Senior housing organizer with Legal Aid Justice Center and a public housing subject matter expert. I'm here to support Gilpin Informed Residents campaign for public accountability and resident inclusion at RRHA. Some background on me. I was mentored by Lily A. Estes, a public housing tenant advocate, community strategist, and resident of Gilpin Court, which is where she took her last breath inside of her apartment. She taught me the history of public housing. Following Dr. King's assassination, Black people rioted all across this country, and within months, the Fair Housing Act of 1968 was created. This legislation added to the HUD Act of 1965 by focusing on the creation of economic opportunities and programming in addition to providing housing. That is the form of public housing that we now know. Lily also taught me that civic engagement is where our power lies as citizens. Particularly as Black people, we can't afford to sit back and allow democracy to happen. We have to be a part of it. And that's why you see me encouraging a lot of people to show up to various public meetings, because that is how democracy is in action. That's how we get out of the mindset that the government won't listen to us. They won't do anything for us. The housing authority doesn't serve us. This is our housing authority. The resources of RRHA belong to the public and not to any staff. In my years of advocacy, I've seen a lot of efforts from RRHA to restrict citizens' engagement with democracy. We have had security officers shut the public from board meetings, falsely claiming that the room reached capacity. We have had demolition approval resolutions for Creighton Court pop up with only hours of notice for the public. And then today, we saw a revised notice for this meeting published to the website today saying that there would be no public comment at this board meeting. This was a change from the notice that was posted to the website on December 3rd. My understanding is that this board's bylaws do not grant any authority to keep the public from speaking during public comment. When this was brought to staff's attention, they began calling people like myself to say that the board chair and the CEO had changed their mind and that there would be public comment. This is akin to voter suppression. You cannot claim to be supporting residents or supporting Black people when you are eliminating their ability to be treated as citizens of this country. Last night, City Council voted on several pieces of legislation which we hope will add more transparency to RRHA's board and other boards and commissions. And I hope that the Board of Commissioners who were appointed by that City Council are prepared to move RRHA in the same direction that the city is moving. So I have an ask tonight, and it is the same ask that Councilperson Kenya Gibson made in her April letter to the board and to the CEO. I would ask that you please begin publishing all of your meeting recordings, notes, minutes, resolutions, and meeting materials online for the public on your website in the same way the City Council has always done. This is very necessary. Last month, November 19th, this board voted on several contracts that had only been introduced at a committee meeting 2 days prior. This is not democracy. This is not transparency. You would have had to have been at that committee meeting to know what was going to be discussed at that full board meeting, since the agenda only came out on the day before the meeting. I assume that this board will embrace this request. City Council says that they already have the software to create this. And I would ask that someone on this board make a motion tonight to direct the CEO to cause this to happen. Please make a motion to direct the CEO to begin publishing the board meeting materials and recordings online. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mario. Appreciate your comments. I want to remind our public citizens, you have a 3-minute time limit. And while it's, often challenging to remember the time as you're speaking, we don't want to, be disrespectful, but we will cut across if we breach that 3-minute time frame. So we apologize in advance if that be the case, but we must adhere to that. Amari, we appreciate your comments. They're duly noted, and don't see any reason why we can't be transparent. Next, who do we have?
The last citizen is Sylvia Davis.
Good evening, Ms. Davis. Please share your comments, and remember, you have 3 minutes, and if you broach that 3-minute time frame, we will cut across. Thank you, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Sylvia Davis, and I am a Gibson Informed resident. And I have been retaliated on against by RRHA ever since I spoke out about the CEO paying me. I had no heat in my home. Everybody knows that I've been fighting for my daughter to come home, and she's on the ventilator. We survived 2 snowstorms without any heat. I had to send out a letter an email to the staff and to my attorney and to RRHA attorney in order to get some heat in my home. I have an electrical problem. I called them today. I went by there Monday and asked them to come fix it. They haven't came and fixed it yet. My daughter's in the hospital because she caught pneumonia. Transparency, safety issues, the democracy. Yes, of course. We don't have a democracy. Ned Smith and Charles Williams and all of y'all has destroyed that. And you continue to do this stuff, and that's why you had these meetings, because, you know, it's just not only Ned Smith. All y'all crooked, because if y'all wasn't, then y'all would not, this still would not continue to be going on. What have my daughter did to anybody in RRHA to be treated like this? She was denied a reasonable accommodation, you know, just steady fighting with RRHA. All I need now, they say they can't provide a generator. Medicaid say that they will provide her a power source. All I need is a letter from RRHA. They heart so cold, they haven't even gave me that yet.
Ms. Davis,
I have
we
no
appreciate.
further
Yes, ma'am. Thank
go
you.
to hell. Bye.
As we look forward and continue to move throughout our agenda for the evening, thank you for those citizens who respectfully shared their comments. I would also like to advise and make probably another announcement. We have staff who are willing and able to assist if you have any type of maintenance issue. If you have any type of issue, follow the protocol. Our procedures have been updated, and I believe that we are seeing great results. And please be patient. So our next item on our agenda is the discussion regarding Mayor Vula's outstanding follow-up letter and the joint governance concept. Mr. CEO, will you be handling that, or who is going to be speaking to that point?
Yes, thanks, Chair Jackson. I'll be walking the board members through a short PowerPoint, which will just highlight the proposed response requested by Mayor Vula, and I'll be walking through the board through the highlighted items. As soon as Sade gets it up, our staff member gets up. What I'm going to walk through, each board member did receive electronically via email, and also the proposed draft letter response to Mayor Vula was delivered, I believe, now to all commissioners' residents. So what I'm going to do for this item is I'm going to see if we're going to show the screen. Are we going to share the screen, Sade? She has control of it. She does. Okay. I'll call and make sure what we're trying to show. Try to share. If you can call her, please, Kim. What we want to show up on the screen is essentially a summary. Again, Mayor Vula appeared, as you all know, on November 19th, and he addressed the Board of Commissioners about a renewed partnership, a new partnership between RRHA and the city. After his appearance, which I thought was a fantastic presentation by the mayor, supported by his team, and his exciting proposal. Post his appearance on November 19th, November 24th, Mayor Vula sent over a letter. Again, he sent that letter to the chair and all of the Board of Commissioners. And then in that letter, after that he sent that letter, the chair asked me as CEO to put together my subject matter team and to begin drafting, putting together a draft response back to Mayor Vula to address his 8 questions that he proposed, that he said he wanted clarity on, and a board vote on the proposed joint governance structure, which will be voted on later today or proposed in form of a resolution. We agreed, Mayor Vula asked for all of those responses to be sent to him by December 17th, which is tomorrow. We believe, based on the work, and I want to just pause for a second when we talk about work, I got to give lots of credit, Mr. Chairman, and the board. We have had staff working late into night. They've been working Saturday and Sundays. I'm not the only one. So I got to give credit to the board. We've had a staff here who sent things to get ready for this presentation, after midnight. And so I really, really, really have to give thank you to the staff. And so what we're going to, and we sent that proposed draft, again, response to all of the Board of Commissioners via electronically, and it was dropped off to your home. What I'm going to do, we're going to, in a moment, get what I'm going to go over. But I'm going to get in the interest of time before it'll be up there soon. I'm going to walk through what I think were the highlights of Mayor Vula's request and what we've done thus far. So, as I mentioned in the Mayor's Vula's letter, there were 8 requests of Mayor Vula. Of those 8, I'm happy to report 3 of them we already have agreement on. What are they? We have an agreement on the Tenant Bill of Rights that we agree that as Mayor Vula has laid out a bold proposal with other members of City Council as well, what a Bill of Rights should look like, Tenant Bill of Rights, that it should address the issues of dislocation, it should address the issues having to do with the right to return, and a number of issues. And so that the items that Mayor Vula laid out, that he said that he would like to see in a tenant's Bill of Rights, we have already agreed with that, and we believe it should be robust. Second, a joint steering working group. We agreed in principle that we agreed also that there should be a joint steering working group of which RRHA and the city would be the co-leads of that larger joint working group, which also would include what was originally contemplated was a steering committee made up of all the original stakeholders of the original CNI and also the historic Jackson Ward groups as well. That would also include, to be clear, not only residents of Gilpin, but also, of course, the RTO and the resident tenant council. And yes, also that would include all groups, but to include the group, I forgot them right now, I'm thinking it's the Gilpin Informed Residents, yes, so it would include that group as well. And so the other item that we do have an agreement on is the issue of deviations in the Jackson Ward community plan. There was a question as to whether or not there were 2 submissions of the Jackson Ward plan that was submitted to HUD. One was a 2023 version and a year 2024 version. We have met and had numerous meetings. That is RRHA, the Historic Jackson Ward Community, the city agency PD&R, Planning, Development, and Review, and we held it with some of the original stakeholders, and we all came to an agreement that the 2024 version is the version that we would move forward with. Since we all came to agreement on that version of the Jackson Ward Community Plan, the PDR provided an update of that version, that agreed upon version, to the City Planning Commission. And that was done in November. And now that there's agreement and that version, the 2024 of the Jackson Ward plan has been submitted to the City Planning Commission, they've been briefed on it, then the Planning Commission will make a recommendation, and that plan will be sent to City Council for introduction, and then it will be a formal referral back to the City Planning Commission with a recommendation that City Council will probably approve that plan. So again, of the 8 items that Mayor Vula said that was a must for us to come to an agreement on, 3 of them we are in agreement with: Tenant Bill of Rights, the deviations of the Jackson Ward Community Plan, and in principle, a joint a joint steering working group, but this board must vote on that later tonight. Let me quickly go through the remaining 6 items requests from Mayor Vula. I will walk through with you. They are critical and they're important. And I think we have an agreement. The first is the question for a one-for-one replacement of deeply subsidized units. And for the record, we've said to Mayor and his team, and I want to thank Sharon Ebert in particular, the Mayor's Policy Advisor, Thad, Amy Pavlovich, and others who have been working and guiding us on these responses. So to be clear, these responses were not just Nesmith, CEO, and our subject matter experts. We have been in conversations with the mayor's team, and also want to thank Odie, the CAO, as well. So these, what we're reading through comes with input from them. So as it relates to one-to-one replacement, RHA is fully committed to achieving one-for-one replacement of deeply affordable units. The current Gilpin Court plan can be augmented and should be to reach the targeted 781 deeply subsidized replacement units so that it is consistent with the city's guidance that the replacement unit, and that is the issue that Mayor Rula raised, that there was a gap of 160 units, and that we believe we can achieve that on-site and off-site through a combination of both, utilizing several options. What are those options? That is using our project-based voucher units and low-income housing tax credit units and layering the two, thereby increasing the number of deeply affordable units. We also, to reach that goal of one-for-one replacement of the total of 781, we also have 2 other options. That is, we have 2 what's called first build sites. That is, we will build 2 sites for relocation so as to deal with the issue of not dislocation. What are those 2 built first lots? On the larger Jackson Ward footprint. One is land that we own there in Gilpin on the Jackson Ward footprint. That right there, we believe is going to be about 1 to 14 units. The second first build phase, again, dealing with the issue of relocation, will be the 2 former Fay Tower sites. There, we can get up to 50 units. The second issue that was raised in Mayor Vula's letter was phasing, timing, and HUD process. Important issue. And on this issue, RHA recognizes and agrees with the city's position that there must be a clear, transparent, and shared phasing and HUD strategy that is required before major irreversible steps are taken. So in response to the city concerns regarding this, there will be a 10-phase redevelopment timeline for Gilpin Court. And RHA will provide detailed responses to each of those. And those detailed responses is how we deal with the phasing and the timing and the HUD process is in a longer version of the letter, draft letter that was sent to each of you. I'm gonna just highlight what you all have before you in the longer document. It addresses how the residents will be affected in each phase, how Gilpin's timeline meshes with Creighton and Mosby South. It also addresses the status and the content of the Section 18 applications and the tenant protection voucher plans. And what those phases intended to do in the document that you all have that was delivered to you, it clarifies what is a phase development approach. It outlines the sequencing and coordination of related development efforts. It describes the planned HUD submission process while reaffirming RRHA's commitment to collaboration with the city, its residents, and community stakeholders. One item of note, RHA will be sharing a more detailed proposed timeline for all of its 6 Big Six properties at a February 26 board retreat. We will share it first with our board and then with the city. The next item, request by the mayor, dealt with the issue of a people plan and early relocation support. I want to applaud the mayor, take a moment of CEO prerogative, and I want to applaud the mayor and his team for describing what is a very bold people plan. I think it's incredible. And again, we've had some follow-up conversations in our board meeting post the mayor's presentation, and also his submitting a letter over with his top policy person and also Amy Pavlovich. And what they asked us is to not submit a bold people plan, that the details of a bold people plan will be done along with that working group. That is the joint steering working group. That is where the power lies. No longer with RHA, where RHA believes, we think we're smart, but we're just not that smart. So the focus moves with the joint working group. So what the mayor's team asked is for us not to put together because we couldn't, because it's going to take input. It's going to take a lot of funding. It's going to talk about intense case management. It's going to talk about addressing healthcare issues. It's going to be talking about dealing with the residents who have credit issues. Help on and on and on. And we look forward to working with the mayor's team and the joint working group to put together a robust and very detailed, bold plan that Mayor Vula has articulated. What the mayor team did ask us to do is to, in our response letter, is to agree to the broad concept of what the mayor has put forward for what a people plan bold people plan should look like. And in this response, that is what we do. We agree, we respond back in writing to the mayor, and we say, we lay out each of the requisites that the mayor and his team believes must be in this new people plan. And what we say is, everyone makes sense. So we agree as to the people plan and the early relocation support. The next item, there are two left. The next request that the mayor and his team put forward was city representation on the RRDC board. And what we said to that, again, is yes, we're open to having city, and we think it's important to have city representation on the RDC board. However, we said that we wanted to have our council work with city's legal counsel to talk about how we do that in a way that would avoid any potential conflicts and the ability to pursue some city projects when they may come before the RDC board, and to ensure that we are in compliance with what HUD sets out for all 501c3 entities that I would say most housing authorities across the country have, including every housing authority in the Commonwealth of Virginia that has a 501c3. So we want to make sure that we're in compliance with those guidelines. But yes, we can, as former President Barack Obama said, yes, we're open to that. What is important, however, to recognize is that in this new model that, and I call it a really bold model that the mayor and his team has put forward, the power, the control, and the financing, the implementation of Gilpin Court no longer rests with the RDC. I have to say it again. Under the new bold proposal that the mayor and his team have put forward, the decisions around redevelopment, implementation, the financing, the phasing, the people plan. It does not any longer rest with the Richmond Redevelopment Corporation, RRHA's 501c3. Game changer, game changer. And we agree. The last item that the mayor and his team put forward, we think is important, is the issue of financial transparency and investment plan. And that is that RHA, and we believe so. I'm going to quote our chair. He was telling me as we were thinking about the issue, he said to me, you know, Steve, if I'm going to go into a financial transaction, real estate transaction with a partner, I want to know the finances of that partner. Because when we come to the table, we ought to know where we all stand financially. And so that's what we did. We are submitting something that we've never done before. Each year, we do give the city our annual finances that are audited by our independent auditor. At least the 3 years I've been CEO, we submit them every year because we're a component, one of what's called component agency groups. It is a requirement. We've done that. Now, we're going to go even further. With the mayor's report, we've already submitted what's called our financial data schedule, which is the our CFO's financials that she submits every year to the Board of Commissioners. We're submitting the same data numbers to the city, which is different from what we've ever done before. We've never done it, I don't think, at least in my experience, let's say. So we're going to provide detailed financials. We've given you already 2024. For 2025, we'll be giving you that as well, because I think that is what the mayor said. We did not do 25, and we'll be submitting those real soon. And also, RHA is providing the city, which was asked by the mayor, with the funding amount requests, including RHA, what is RHA leverage funds? What are we bringing to the table for the installation of infrastructure and site improvement for Creighton Court, Gilpin First Bid projects, Mosby Court, etc. That too, we'll be submitting that because, as everyone knows, since the Clinton administration, Washington, D.C. is getting out of the funding of public housing. That's why we have to move to a new economic development model where we're bringing public-private partnerships to fund what we do, so residents for self-sufficient to redevelopment public housing. We believe that RT believes that it's important, as the mayor said, that we demonstrate financial transparency. Also, we want to take note, we will be giving the city what we call our planned capital investments that reflects RHA HUD-approved 5-year capital plan. That lays out what monies HUD gives us in terms of capital funding, which diminishes each year for capital funds to keep up what is clearly the oldest infrastructure from Miami up to Vermont. And so we will provide those numbers, again, an approved 5-year capital fund plan, which is, by the way, reviewed annually, includes resident review and input. It also details the conditions of our properties and what our needs are for redevelopment over time. We will be conducting a new physical needs assessment, which will talk about, you know, what the finances are for our physical needs. I will note we will also be sending over what was our last financial audit. I'm proud to say that the team here, for the first time in years, just this year, RRHA received 0 findings from our independent auditor for the first time in many, many years. And we'll be sending that report over from our independent auditor of our financials. So I wanted proud to say I believe that we can stick and meet Mayor Vula's timeline, submitting, obviously the board has to have discussions tonight about all the the mayor's 8 requests. Again, 3 of which we agreed to. One of them is the joint board structure, governance structure that we voted on tonight. I think one of the biggest things that the mayor says, and it was important, is in his incoming letter. He said it's important. Can I have that, please? I have it. Forget about it. In his incoming letter, he said that all of this, and once the board is willing, votes in the affirmative on the items that he has requested, the mayor has said something, and I quote, because I think it's very, very, very important what the mayor said. He says that he hopes after there's an affirmative positive vote by the board on the items that he's put before us in this letter, and I quote, that then we can move quickly to draft a detailed memorandum of agreement for adoption in early 2026. And what that would do is that would then lay out what that joint working group would look like. Again, as the mayor said, co-led by the sitting RHA, but it's going to bring in everyone. I think the beauty of, I guess, of the stroke what the mayor's done here, let's bring everybody in and make the decision, not the RDC, not RRHA. And it's that joint governance committee that we're making all decisions going forward. And I think that's an important day. And I want to thank the city and the mayor also for saying that if we also reach agreement and appropriate the layers that they needed this information so quickly and agree, that's why we work so hard, because it's important for the city, and I quote in this letter, for their ability to consider recommending substantial city funding for Gilpin Court redevelopment and upcoming general fund and capital improvement plans and budgets. So with that, I'm going to now open, I think is appropriate, Mr. Chair. I'm going to have, I think we should open up, because you all had the longer document. I read the highlights from it. I think it's important to have all of the board members ask any and all questions. We do, and I've asked my subject matter experts to be here to answer any and all questions. And I will direct, as the questions come up, who of our subject matter experts should address the questions, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Stephen, thank you for that overview. It was greatly appreciated. I personally wish to thank the staff in public while we've talked, and I know that you guys have labored many of hours. I think this is a very comprehensive response. I'm elated. It is of historical notice. This partnership that we are endeavoring to achieve is of utmost significance. I think it answers a lot of questions. I think it puts out a lot of fires as the general public had previous concerns. It certainly paves a way forward in a joint effort where it's a win for everyone. And that's just my perspective. I've shared that with you in private. I want to make that publicly known, and I look forward to our vote this evening and being able to give the mayor a call back and let him know that we are moving forward. That is my personal desire. However, my colleagues, I'd love the opportunity for you to weigh in at this point now as well. And I noticed we also have Commissioner Brody on the line with us this evening too. Commissioners, anyone have any comments, any questions or concerns that they want to air at this point?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir. Yes, Commissioner
Yeah,
Johnson.
I think this is an excellent opportunity. I think for the first time in a long time that the city and the development and our development authority is working collaboratively to address uh, an important component of housing in our community. We serve the same constituents there. I don't know of any other mayor before now who has taken the initiative to get this involved in what we're doing and to initiate the RDC, which is a development arm, and helping us with some of the resource problems that we face, issues that we face. The thing that concerns me the most is expediency when it comes to getting things done, to getting information out there, to address concerns that are raised in a timely fashion so that we can get our request into the entities of concern, which is HUD and the City Hall. So and us as a development authority. So I welcome this opportunity. I welcome the initiatives of the mayor that we get the people who are most concerned, who are most vulnerable, and get involved with what our needs are as we move to develop our city collectively. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your response.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, yes, sir. Commissioner Lewis?
Yes, yes. I just for clarification, did I hear that the city is going to provide some funding for? Okay, all right.
Yes, sir. They are they will be an equal partner. And I'm sure our CEO can go through the details, but one of the strongest benefits or greatest assets about this partnership is we can utilize um, their financial infrastructure to help us. And that's a part of the reasoning that we are going to be as transparent as necessary. We have nothing to hide. Um, if if I do business with you in a partnership manner, I want to know what your strengths are or your weaknesses so that I can cover, so that we can continue to see a successful end. And that is the mindset and the intentions of the authority.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir. Mr. Elliott, congratulations. Welcome back. Congratulations on your new nuptial.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I apologize if this was covered in last month's meeting. As the chair pointed out, I just got married and was not able to attend last month's meeting where the mayor spoke to RRHA and the board. I see in the letter that the Joint Steering Committee, what entities will be represented. Do we have any information about how large that body will be, and then the frequency at which they'll meet, and then ultimately what's the product of what the Joint Commission will kind of produce? Is that going to be a recommendation, and then ultimately is final decision making authority still residing with the RRHA board with respect to the position of Gilpin Court?
Well, I would say this, and then I'm going to defer to our CEO. Actually, Stephen, if you would respond to that for us.
Yes. So first, Commissioner Elliott, what the mayor Avila lays out in his letter to us, I can make sure we get to that later too, since you've been away. And again, congratulations. I can tell you, ones who went there, life will change. So congratulations. So I'm not sure if it's mark number 7 though, but in the mayor's incoming letter, with Mark, so it's page 7. I think that was also delivered to you. The mayor sets out a concept for a joint steering committee, and he said that working group must include, and I'm again reading from what the mayor said, the RHA board chair, CEO, the mayor, the CAO, DCAOs, relevant directors, senior staff, senior counsel, city council, community partners, to include, and I'm glad he said this, to include RPS, Richmond Public Schools, and other stakeholders, our development partner, of course, at Gilpin resident representation, including but not limited to attendant council leaders. Then he went on, he said, the mayor said that, I'm reading, it is envisioned that this full group will meet monthly for the duration of the transformation initiative, with three major committees focused on: one, housing development, support for residents, and three, wider neighborhood revitalization, leading work in between meetings. Then he says each of those committees is to be co-led by a representative of the city of Richmond and RRHA. And so, how many people are going to be on it total? Commissioner Elliott, I think the city and RHA, the mayor, proposes to get together and to have that conversation. It has to be large enough so that it's inclusive of a lot of diverse groups, but not so unwieldy that you could not have votes. And so I think that's why the issue is broken down to committees as well. I don't, and I'm going to end a little bit. You want to elaborate on that a little bit, Sherelle? You think I captured it?
I believe you captured. I just would say our choice neighborhood stakeholder group have also, they will be included. And that was the original steering committee or stakeholder group for the Jackson Ward community plan. So I think working with the city, as Mr. Nesmith said, we would work out what that total number is. We are aware that you have to get work done, and as Commissioner Johnson and other commissioners have said, as well as our CEO, it cannot be unwieldy where we would not be, you have 50 people and you can't move.
That's right. And it'd be so inclusive. Yes, again, I want to say for the record, not only would it include the RTO and the resident tenant council, it will also include the Gilpin informed residents. Commissioner Elliott.
So then what's the deliverable at the end of this? We'll have the commission will produce a document with a full set of recommendations.
Yes, Attorney Patrick.
Yes, so Commissioner Elliott, the goal would be is after tonight, when you all approve this resolution, it's basically just approving the concept. And so in the resolution, you actually direct the CEO and RHA legal counsel to negotiate with the city a final memorandum of agreement. And once we get a finalized MOA, we will come back to you all for your review and approval at a subsequent board meeting. And in that, it'll lay out all the details of who's on the working group. I'm assuming when they'll meet and those other specific details.
Okay. And
go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine. You were still in your line of questions.
Okay. And so, okay, understood. So we're voting on a concept that will ultimately be negotiated and encapsulated in a memorandum of agreement that RHA and the city will execute. And then, and just so I just want to make sure I understand, is the intention of the agreement, things will still be brought to the board for approval. We're not, the authority isn't ceding authority to the working group. That's a working group in order to create guidance for us as commissioners to ultimately make a final decision on the disposition of Gilpin. Is that right?
Yes, sir. No, you're exactly right, Commissioner Elliott. There are certain things that we can't, we can't give to the working group under HUD regulations. So there would still be, we can't delegate certain authority to the working group, solely looking at HUD regulations.
Understood. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
And Commissioner Elliott, that's I forecasted that. That's why I was I apologize, speaking out of term. Along with Commissioner Elliott, I want to make the other commissioners make it known that we are not giving up our our voice. We are not giving up our authority as a governing body for the authority. The same protocols exist. We will co-lead this endeavor with the city, and things will be brought back to our body so that we can discuss and vote on them as we have in the past.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah, thank you for that. And again, I think this sounds like an excellent working group. I think it provides a lot of stakeholder input from all the interested parties and everybody who needs to have a voice in this. So I applaud that. Just wanted to make sure I understood what the process and procedure for it was. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely, and I thank you for your vote of confidence as we look to move forward.
Yeah, because I have a better understanding.
Commissioner Pritzker, you want to make comment?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Yeah, I have a better understanding of this. I just want to make sure that somebody's representing the disability residents as well.
Yes, ma'am. One thing that as we sat and spoke with the mayor in more of an intimate level, he is passionate about not just brick and mortar. And that's one thing that I am grateful for, that he sees people. And this people plan, as we continue to look at that and drill down into that, I think we will all be, we'll be excited. We'll be a sense of accomplishment, because you can rebuild buildings, but if you don't begin to work with the individual, you've accomplished little to nothing other than brick and mortar new builds. And so that's important, and that's going to be comprehensive of everyone, everyone who is willing. And Steve, would you agree? Am I missing anything in that regard?
No, you're absolutely right. Again, I think the President Nassim put forward a very bold plan for a people plan, and it's going to drill down on many categories of individuals. And so I look forward to thinking through that in a really hard way.
Commissioner Hardeman, do you have any thoughts, any questions that you've brought forth? Great questions in the past, and great levels of accountability. And
I appreciate that. I appreciate your inquiry. I think this is great. I think the city and RRHA do their best work when they work together. We work together on the choice neighborhood planning process, Jacksonville Community Plan. So I think this is a great way to ensure that resources and strategies are aligned. So I appreciate all the work the staff have done to make this happen, and look forward to seeing the MOA once that's all ready to go too.
All right, Commissioner McCray, anything you want to add or any comments?
No, not at this time.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Did we lose Commissioner Brody? Commissioner Brody, I want to give you an opportunity to make sure all of our voices are heard. Okay. She may have fallen off. Commissioner Vice Chair, would you like to give your input? I know we were having some audio, but we wanted to check back with.
He's got audio issues.
Got audio issues.
Yeah. Okay, he gave the thumbs up. He was having audio issues, but did we miss any commissioners? Anyone? Okay. I guess that would be it, and we move to the next item on the agenda. Important updates on the Gilpin First Build site. Mr. Naismith.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. So the next item is discussion. We're going updates on the Gilpin Build First site. I'm going to let our Senior Vice President, Ms. Sherelle Hampton, talk about it, and then we also are blessed, I think, the developer, who's the president, Josh. Josh, are you with us? Are you still hung with us? I'm not sure if he has. I know he was in the beginning. Okay, he is not here, so I was gonna have him tag team with you, Sherelle, but please provide an update.
Okay. Thank you so much, and good evening again, commissioners and our general public and my other colleagues that are on the call. I'm happy to share with you, this is just a progression. As you may be aware and should know, the first bill project is utilizing 21 vacant parcels that we are pulling together to do 56 brand new units. What we have here is based on the MDA, the developer HRI did go out and competitively procure, and RRHA staff and our TAG Associates consultants also participated in the review. So they were looking for a design bill, which is slightly different than a regular contractor to build the site. They're going to work with, and we have embedded in the timeline, and that was shared with you at the November real estate meeting, as well as the December meeting. We have embedded engagement opportunities, a timeline for having engagement meetings with the residents. But the MDA gives the developer the right to competitively procure, and they have done that using information from our procurement department to spread out to provide that notice to a number of minority and women-owned businesses, along with a list that they have. And so they now have selected, and they want to move forward. They will move forward with executing the agreement with that contractor. They have included all of RRHA's goals for Section 3 and minority and women-owned contractors. The developer, bill first, not developer, the bill and design vendor that they are selecting or will be selecting by the end of this month has agreed and accepted in writing all of the agency's goals that we have specified for Section 3 and women and minority-owned contractors. So they will be meeting, if not exceeding, those goals, and will continue to work with my colleague and RECD, our real estate department, but procurement especially, as it relates to any subs, any trainings, or any activity of that nature. They want to select KBS, and they have the right under the MDA that was executed, but they needed to give us notice, and they would like to move forward as I shared. We have shared the process with Ms. Colleen Orsini, our procurement. RRHA, as I said, was involved in reviewing. We had separate interviews for those vendors submitting applications, and they have finalized that process. And now they wanted the board to notify the board, as the MDA specified, that they would like to go ahead and execute that agreement, or they will be executing that agreement. So I'll stop now to see if that's just an update on the bill first, which has tax credits. We need to move this project so we don't lose our tax credits and anything to put us in jeopardy. So that's why we have built in the timeline resident engagement meetings and activities, and those activities will continue throughout the build first process for project number 1.
Thank you. Thank you. That's good announcement. Josh, who's CEO, president of HRI, is online with us, and we want to offer you a congratulations for moving the process forward. A couple of the things that I heard that echoed in my mind, not just from the announcement just now, but some previous conversations, is your obligation to meet our Section 3 and MBD numbers. We're pleased in that regard. It becomes a win for everyone. And one particular word that stood out in Ms. Hampton's remarks was trainings. As we look forward to this new partnership that we were talking about tonight, one of the things that is most important to us is the development of our residents, our families, and the opportunity for your new contractor to potentially train those willing and able bodies is grand. We love meeting milestones, and we really enjoy exceeding the numbers. So thank you. Do I have any comments from any of the other commissioners?
Yes.
Commissioner Pritzker, was that you?
Yes. I was waiting for you to
Yes,
acknowledge.
ma'am. I had to unpin the conference room to see who was speaking. Yes, ma'am. Go forward.
Okay. My question for what Mrs. Hampton just said on the bill first. I know she was talking more about the development, but my question is, with all of the committees, before the people transfer into those, will all the committees be reporting back to the board their recommendation, or this is a separate?
So Commissioner Pitcher, if I'm understanding your question correctly, we will also, this is a part of the overall Gilpin redevelopment, but we're calling it Bill First because it is starting with that off-site utilizing vacant property that RRHA had. It helps us to mitigate displacement of our residents who are on site. The committee will be updated and brought to bear. Some things have to happen simultaneously, given the LIHTC timing and schedule and being able to close so that we won't lose those funds. But the working group or transformation group will be kept abreast, and we will share information with them as well as we've shared in the response that will go to the mayor and his team tomorrow. We have apprised them of what is happening with the Bill First project number 1, where we are, what needs to transpire, and that we're on a little quicker trajectory with that because of our award, but it becomes a part of that, the design of those buildings. As I said, we will have meetings starting in January of 26 with residents so they will understand, and we will continue that resident engagement process throughout the building and lease up units. I hope I've answered your question, and if I didn't, I'm happy to clarify anything further.
No, you did an excellent job on clarifying. I just want to make sure that I just don't want any conflicting saying that this part might be going to the RDC and the other parts are going to something else. That's what I want to make sure. And who owns the Bill First property? And that's it. And I'm finished.
Okay, so HRI, the developer that was selected, was the developer selected for this Bill First. Each part of that Gilpin redevelopment may have the same developer, may have a different developer. The Bill First number 2 might be different, but this Bill First project number 1, HRI, is the developer. That's why we were notifying the board that they have procured a design build vendor to work on the Bill First project. So it is HRI, the current Gilpin selected by this board, your board that you sit on, our board, was selected by you all before my tenure began, but was selected by RRHA with approval by its board, and HRI is the developer on this particular Bill First project.
I want to highlight something with the board. I think it's important. I'm sure we did it. I do not believe we did a good job in articulating this fact back in April, a long time ago, when we were talking about the Gilpin redevelopment. But I think it's important to highlight. There will be 10 phases of development of Gilpin. And what does that mean, among other things? It means that each phase, there will be there may not be the same developer that will be developing that phase of Gilpin. I don't think we did a good job of articulating that way back when we really had the first vote. And we will be doing that and articulating that better with the joint working group. In each phase, we're going to have to submit a separate Section 18 application trying to lock down tenant protection vouchers. And so there's going to be 10 phases, 10 development opportunities. Just wanted to highlight that, and we'll be taking that, highlighting that concept as we move to the larger joint working group. Mr. Chair, I just wanted to highlight that, and I know you want to make sure that everyone got some voices before we move forward with a potential vote.
Yes, absolutely. Commissioner Lewis, any comments, anything you want to add, or questions you may have? You're on mute.
No, not really. My biggest question, which I think you've answered, and that is that there will be multiple developers for the entire project.
Okay. Yes, sir. All right.
Okay. So I'd like to.
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Hampton.
I'd just like to clarify something that my CEO just shared. Yes, there are 10 phases for the anticipated 10 phases for the on-site, what I call Gilpin proper, where public housing is right now. That your board, this board, my CEO, has done one thing different. That is a committed development right for HRI. HRI is the developer of those 10 phases. However, if they choose not to in that MDA, they can then come to us and say, for whatever reason. But I know HRI is committed to developing those 10 phases. For our Bill First projects, of which there are 2 of them proposed, those may be different developers. It just so happens we use a competitive procurement process with each of the off-site phases and any of our redevelopment efforts. So on-site Gilpin, there is one developer, and you all approved HRI for that. For anything that is off-site, like what we're talking about now, we may have different developers based on the competitive procurement process. For this first bill of the vacant lots, 56 brand new units, HRI also won that. Now we are preparing for Bill First project number 2, which is we plan to completely rehab the former Fay Towers. That may be a different developer. So I hope I've answered your question, Mr. Lewis.
Well, when you say a different developer,
yes,
then
sir.
Would it not come back to the board as a competitive?
Always. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Always.
Okay.
We have to bring it back for you all to approve terms and an MDA.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
close. Into a vote.
Okay, moving forward, any of my other colleagues want to ask any other questions or make any comments prior to us going into a vote for this resolution? All right, it seems as if we don't have any additional comments or questions. At this time, Mr. Carter, are we ready to move in that direction to vote on the resolution?
Yes, we are, Mr. Chair. And there is one more opportunity for all mine for any questions, but resolution number 1, which is the sole resolution at this special virtual meeting, is the approval of the joint governance structure concept for the redevelopment of Gilpin Court and the larger Jackson Ward community plan. I'd like to tee this up for approval. May I have a motion for approval, please?
So move.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Can I have a
Second.
second? Okay. Second from Ms. McCray. All right. Okay. All right. Well, I'd like to at least advance to the board now. Is there any discussion or any call to question here on this resolution? All right. There being none, let's take a roll call vote, please. Let me just ask, is Ms. Brody back with us now? Okay. All right. She is. All right. Well, here's the vote. Mr. Jackson?
Aye.
Mr. Parker? Okay, got a thumbs up. All right. Ms. Brody? Okay, well, she's offline. All right. Mr. Elliott?
Aye.
Mr. Hardeman?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Lewis?
Aye.
Ms. McCray?
Aye.
Ms. Pitchford?
Aye.
All right. The ayes have it. Resolution number 1 has been approved. Okay.
All right.
All right. Chair, I'd like to turn the meeting back over to you, sir.
Well, I think it's a day of celebration. I am thoroughly grateful to our RRHA staff for answering the call, not just of the mayor, but of the things that the Board of Commissioners wanted to see, which I believe line up with the mayor's desire. And I think this is the first of many giant steps toward making life better for our families and our residents. I commend everyone, and I'm grateful. And let's continue to hold ourselves accountable and move forward in this same regard. And with that being the case, unless there's any other question or comment from my colleagues,
I
this
had
meeting
one
is
question.
Yes,
And I'm
ma'am.
gonna make it short. I just want to know, you don't have to answer it this meeting, but if you could bring an answer back in the next meeting, about posting the recordings of these meetings for transparency. If it's not possible to answer it, if you could answer it in the January meeting so we can be transparent.
Yes, ma'am. We'll discuss that, and we will have a response in the January meeting.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I just want to say that the next item, obviously, we will prepare our response and we'll meet the mayor's deadline of submitting it by the 17th, which is tomorrow. So that's important. That's one. And number 2, then as the mayor Avula said, he wants to move quickly in 2026 with discussions about the people plan. He wants to move quickly in 2006, very early, with getting RRH together with he and his team to have a discussion of what the memorandum of agreement is going to look like. And so that's the first two things that we're going to be taking up. And obviously we'll be coming with a draft of that memorandum of agreement to this board for review. They'll be working with the mayor folks, mayorville folks, as to what that should look like. And we'll get input from mayor folks.
Okay. All right. Good. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? Commissioner Johnson, were you?
I'm satisfied, Mr. Chair.
All right. All right. Well, everyone, I would say drive safely. Great meeting tonight. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
I
Thank you. Thank
appreciate
you.
the CEO, the staff, our commissioners, our chair, because we really needed this meeting. And I am jumping up and down.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All right, folks. Meeting adjourned, and have a good evening.
Thank you. Happy holiday.